Happy Monday, Greg. I used to hate Mondays. What about you?
Yeah, but when you're taking advantage of some of the trading that's happened on a Monday like today, where it just went up and ripped and didn't look back, that's a good freaking Monday, in my opinion.
Dude, this is like, so it gapped up Sunday night, huge, and then today gapped up again. Like, that's a big gap. And look at the consolidation. I think it might pull back, but I think we're going to keep going and going and going. So, yeah, what a cool, I think volatility's back. We knew it would be after that big down day. We just didn't know if it'd be up or down, but volatility's back, and it's probably going to be a good fourth quarter here by the way things are looking and by the way it feels and the vibe of the market. So, and a lot of earnings too. I think we're coming into earnings season, pretty much the good part of it. What do we got
Yeah,
going on for that?
I think that is honestly what's going to be driving our bullish continuations for the rest of the week because we've got things like on Wednesday, Microsoft and Apple are reporting. On Thursday, we have Amazon, Google, and Meta are all
Wow.
reporting. So there's quite a few of the big names that are coming up this week for earnings. And I think with what we've already seen today and recently with earnings, that's a really positive sign right there. That's what's keeping that bullish momentum going, I believe.
Yeah, I mean it's been a big week. I think it was I don't know if it was IBM or AMD, but yeah, big. It had a huge day, huge day. I was looking at it there. I don't have the chart up now, but yeah, I mean, there's some big movements. Sometimes it's too early to call it the Santa Claus run, but some years there's Santa Claus runs. But if here's the thing, so we're getting into the end of October. If we're gonna run now, then I'm gonna assume probably after about the second week of December, it'll probably sell off if we do have a big run into the fall here. But we'll see. I mean, if it just comes up and it just levels out a bit, it might climb into the end of the year. Who knows? But overall, I mean, it was a tough year, right? But we've beat highs, so yeah. What else is going on? Any good news
Well,
in the
yeah,
market?
we've also got things like we're talking about the summit that's coming up between China and Trump. I think they've actually already reached a kind of a preliminary agreement, and that's something that's really showing some bullish sentiment to it. I know the S&P 500 finally broke above its 6,800 key level, so we're literally breaching, all-time highs for the first time in history. Every single thing this week has been just an absolute bullish upward momentum. Gold did do a little bit of a pullback, so it lost a little bit. So that's the only thing that kind of pulled back a little bit. But as far as the tech companies, NQ and ES, YM, those are looking really, really amazing this week.
Yeah, everything's looking like a huge week. It's almost too much to even trade. We'll take a look. Something I found interesting was the RTY. We've been talking about it for a while. It still hasn't broke those all time highs. I guess it did. It peaked above there today, just peaked above, but it pulled back hard. So it's had a tough struggle back up the highs. But I think there's going to be a ton of shorts there, so it might pull back again. But if it can break those highs, I think it's going to be off to the races here. But yeah, NQ, most of the tech stocks, it's just look at this. So when did it break all time highs? Which was, I'm calling it all time highs before that big dump here earlier in the year. So basically, yeah, it
Well,
did the gapped up. So then when was that? This was 06/26, so June 27th. Wow. So June 27th it broke highs and it's just been going nuts ever since. So I mean the NQ, wow, what a good ETF. Same
yeah,
thing
and I know
here.
we've got jobless claims are coming out, I believe, tomorrow. FOMC meeting minutes are just
Okay.
coming out again the day after that.
So a pretty good week for news by the looks of it.
Yeah, I mean, if you look at our dashboard here in the trader dashboard, it's just showing, look at how it's like trick or treat with, all the major seven, which is really deriving the NQ charts. So far they've had some really good reportings on this fourth quarter. So absolutely, it's something that I think it's driving it. There's a lot of really good stuff that's going on, and we're just rolling on it. When you look at the charts here, you can just see that we're just tapping these levels and then going up or come up, hit a level and just keep on going, pull back and keep going. So absolutely, everything is saying look for pullbacks and just take the long entries until it shows otherwise.
Yeah, that's cool. Click on the ES.
Yeah.
See what it's saying there.
Same thing, these minor pullbacks, and then it just continues up, minor pullbacks, and it continues up really well. Again, same thing, showing really good bullish momentum. The only thing I seen when we were looking at it earlier was gold again. That's the only thing that it's showing bearish right now, because we hit
Yeah.
this level and just absolutely dumped, and we're breaking below these levels, retesting them again. So that is kind of, and usually, you know, when NQ and ES are going up, usually gold likes to go down. I think oil's doing similar, yeah, kind of the similar feedings here.
Yeah.
But the big
Chopping.
things are all of our tech stocks, even YM, all these are just looking beautiful, perfect upward trending.
Yeah. To show you, yeah, gold had a good pullback this week too, or last week I should
Yeah,
say, had a really big one. So, but you know, we've just kind of pulled back to this main trend, and it seems to be holding there. So, I don't see huge downside for gold, to be honest. It's just been so strong this year. So we'll see if it has more downside. If it did, I don't know. There's not really any support here, right? I mean, the next support you would say would be like right here would be the next level you look at, and that's pretty far away. 400
yeah.
bucks
I think
now.
we've got a
So
little bit further away that we might be looking at, you know, pulling some of the news thing. I think it's just refresh there.
we could
And
just
it's either going to pull back and it's either going to see some downside, I think, reaction to this, or it's going to finally break through and start pulling back up. And these two have almost been inversely correlated, you know, NQES and then gold. So, you know, keep in mind, if gold does start seeing higher highs and higher lows, then okay, we might be looking out for, you know, maybe we did kind of peak out and start seeing some reversal patterns. But with, you know, the thing about it is, with, you know, all of the earnings reports and some of the FOMC meetings, all the, you know, the big red folder news developments that are coming out, I think as long as we're seeing positive values on these, we're just going to keep on rolling, keep on ripping.
yeah, I think so. I think the economy's good. I think some things holding it back are some trade deals too, right? Trump said he's not talking with Canada anymore. He said that maybe last week, and said some stuff about China, and that was, well, you know, part of the reason for that pullback last week too. Also something to do with the banks being a little bit insolvent, but yeah. So I mean, that'll be a huge catalyst if you can make a deal with China. If you can start talking to Canada, I mean, that'll blow the whole market up. So I mean, could happen this year, could happen next year, but I think overall, yeah, I'm pretty bullish too. And then yeah, for oil, even if you look at the 4 hour, it is starting to kind of found a base, and it really did have a big acceleration to the upside. But generally, with a right-wing government, you see oil prices drop as opposed to left, historically speaking. So yeah, and then it's just, but you know what, it's been more chopped than anything else for oil. So yeah, and then the YM broke highs there. If we take a look here, so finally read all-time highs. We're just waiting on RTY. Still a little bit hesitant, but you can see the volatility coming in. Like if you just look at the size of the candles, starting like right here, you can see they're starting to get bigger, big downs, big up, big down, big up. So that's generally, if you were to draw trend lines, I forget what they call it. There's a name for it. It's like some kind of a horn where it gets wider at the end. So here, let me draw
Pullback
it.
and a race. It just does a significant pullback to probably a pretty large EMA, maybe like a 50 or 100 EMA, but then it keeps on, you know, trending upwards after that, though.
Yeah,
That's
but
the
it gets
important part, is it's
more
maintaining
volatile
that.
before the move. So it's not too wide, but sometimes that is a pattern where it starts to get volatility and it goes up, breaks highs, breaks lows, and then breaks highs even more, and then it really, like, you know what I mean. So it starts to accelerate. This is actually not as open as I thought it was just looking at it, but it is in a nice channel, nice steady channel. But I do think it's going to, I don't know. Looks like it might have some downside there too. Who knows? But getting there. Getting there for all the fun stuff. So we'll see what this week brings. I'm really excited actually for this week. I think it's going to be exciting to see where we end
Yeah,
up by
and
the
for
end
the
of the
first
week.
time, we've got a lot of really good catalysts that's going to help support that one way or the other. You know, as long as these come, you know, keep on coming up with good positive earnings reports. If, you know, Trump, the meeting with China can go as expected.
China.
It's already got a lot of, you know how Trump likes to do. He'll talk about all these 100% tariffs, all these horrible things, and he's doing that to set up for, you know, a good position for what he's looking to try to get out of it.
Yeah.
And I think that they're already reaching some goals already ahead of that meeting. So if that keeps on working out this week, like they they're expecting it to. And I think that's a good thing for Canada too. I think if we reach a good goal with, China, then I think that,
China.
maybe we're finally starting to walk some of this stuff back, and we can start making those similar deals with Canada as well.
Yeah, well, that would be the goal, but you know how it is. But I think the writing's on the wall with him. If you just listen to him, he kind of gives you hints about stuff. So I don't know if it's market manipulation or what, but anyways, kind of, the writing's kind of on the wall for certain things. Like he'll say, "Oh, I'm gonna do tariffs," when the market crashes. Okay, well, I don't know if he's buying, but somebody is, and before long it'll come back. Always does. Same thing that happened in 2016, 2017. If I could pull that up, and I should pull it up next week. This pattern, like I said, it was almost the identical thing. I remember looking at my computer going, holy crap, that thing is going to dump. This was in 2017. Exact same pattern. It was December 2017 to be exact. Or he got in 2016 was the election, so December 2017. This exact. It was just like this, coming down, had a big pullback, had big down day. I'm like, that looks terrible. And it basically did the same thing, crashed down again, come back up right before that second dump, consolidated, broke the highs. I mean, I'll bring it up next week just for a comparison because I've thought about it a couple times, but I don't think about it before the podcast. But yeah, it looks exactly the same. But anyways, so enough with all that. You want to know what's going on? What else is going
what's
on
happening
in the GammaX world?
GammaX?
Yeah, so we got. It's been a good week. Some weeks are slow for getting stuff done. Some weeks are big. Last week we got the that chop indicator out. So so far it's been all right. One user had a little bit of trouble with it, so I got to figure out what's going on with that. But other than that, it's pretty good this week. We started working on the trade copier. Now this is something that we've wanted for a while. I've wanted to. So. I mean, this is what it looks like, and the idea is it's going to be simple to use.
We always talk about, that proper risk management, and I think having the trade copier, we can finally preach that and have our own product to say, yeah, I would rather make $100 across 5 accounts than $500 in one account, and I think this is a major tool. I think it's going to be one of our major 3 pillars of the business right there is this trade copier.
Yeah, it really is. I mean, prop firms are good, but they're also bad at the same time. You got to really know what to do and how to use them. And I think, at least having a couple accounts to spread your risk out a little bit is always important. You'd love to make, let's say you want to make $300 a day. Well, how much risk do you got to make? What's your risk on that $300? And then instead, what if you just decide to make $100 over 3 accounts instead? What's your risk? So it's a good way. Trading multiple accounts is a good way to reduce your risk. So yeah, it's definitely important, and just like anything, we try to make it simple. So when you first load it, it just basically looks like that, and then you add it in, select your account, and then you don't have to select the instrument. It automatically detects the instrument. As I've used the Apex one before, where you actually had to do a new tab for each instrument. This one's going to be a lot easier that way, where you're not going to have to do that. And also, I don't have it put in here yet, but on the Apex one, you can't save it, and you're supposed to do a new. Every time you open NinjaTrader, you're supposed to do a new version of it. You're supposed to close it down, open a new one, but there's no way to save it. And I know why, because I don't know why, but I have a feeling that they just don't. They don't know the code. They don't know how to do it. Where I figured it out over AutoXbot and GeneratorX how to save a window like this because it's not really natural. So we're going to be able to save presets, right, with the accounts and everything. So that'll be handy. And then you just have a mini to micro button. So that is if your leader is trading a mini, then the follower will be a micro. Or if your leader is micro, then it'll put the follower to mini. So either way, you just turn. It's just one button. It'll just do the opposite, whatever the leader is. And then your multiplier. I mean, that's just like anything, right? So let's say you're doing micros, and you want to take more risk on some accounts. This is how you do it. You do like, let's say you had 4. You might do one of them. You might do, I don't know, you do like probably 2. And then maybe you do another one that might be risky, but whatever.
If you're
That's
trying to pass some
kind of the
evals on
idea.
one, you can
Yeah.
multiply that and then trade
You would do that more
your
in an
trending accounts
eval.
a bit lighter.
Yeah. Say number 4 is an
Yeah.
eval. And then it's just has the on off, but I got to select the account. But yeah, so you have the on button. You can flatten all positions from here, or you can flatten each individual position. It shows you your realized P&L, and it shows you if you're in a position as well. So what's cool about it is because sometimes it just doesn't always work. I mean, I've used the Apex copier, and I mean, most of the time it works, but you get running on 10, 20 accounts. Sometimes things happen, right? And you got to watch it, and you got to be careful. So what you do is, so you'd buy the market, and then you can see here it says position NQ1, and it'll tell you your P&L and everything like that. And then you can flatten it all, and it should flatten it all, but sometimes it doesn't. I mean, this isn't done yet. So then what you would do is you'd be able to individually flatten them most of the time, and yeah, you just be able to monitor it from there. So it's not working at the moment because it's not done, but that's the idea anyways. So
It's kind of like the control panel on steroids, basically, where the control panel, you've got to be in 3 different windows to kind of get everything you want done.
yeah,
Here, you can see all your numbers and management as well, all in one window.
yeah, exactly. So it's just easy to see what still has a position, what doesn't. You can look at the unrealized P&L, and you'll see, hey, you know what? All my accounts except for one are closed. It's just a safety thing. And I mean, it's just the nature. Sometimes it's the broker's end where things don't close, or who knows. I mean, that's just kind of the risk you take with these prop firms. Is sometimes you get into situations, but try to make it in a way where if you do get into a situation, it's easy to see that you're in it, and it's easy to take care of as well. So, and yeah, I mean, you can just minimize it, and then if you want it up, you can bring it up, or you can make it different size. You can always resize it too, and then just scroll between them if you want it in the corner. But yeah, so this will be probably something that most people will use. I think most people are using prop firms, so this will be a really cool tool to have.
That's going to be, I think, a really key thing for us to be able to have in addition to everything else we're doing. That's really cool.
Yeah, so anyways, there's no announcements for release right now because this has to be reliable, so we just don't know. By the time we get the coding done and get some testing, we will offer to a couple beta testers probably this week, but it'll be selective. And then, yeah, we'll see if there's any revisions that need to be made, and we're just going to try to make it, as robust as possible. That's the idea. So, and then, yeah, I don't know. You working on anything, Greg?
Yeah, I was actually going to show you this here real quickly. Let me pull up my desktop here. Here we go. So I'm working on one of our first ICT indicators.
Did you close that window?
Did I close it out all right?
Yeah, I don't have your screen stream anymore.
Huh. Okay.
Your screen share?
Yeah, hang on. Let me go back into that link and click it real quickly. Hold on a second. You want me to go back into it again?
Yeah, see if you can set it up.
Yeah.
I'll see it come up. Okay, but anyways, while you're getting that up.
All right, can you see that now?
I can see that. I can see that you're there. I'm just not showing your screen though.
Okay, hang on a second. Here we go. All right. It's showing green now. You should see it.
All right. Give me a second here. No, I don't see anything on my end. Yeah, I can't see it.
Okay. All right. So One of the things that I'm working on is one of our first ICT indicators, and this is just kind of my first draft here, but Richard really likes doing some of his immediate rebalances on his fair value gaps, and he's got specific requirements he likes to trade on some of these. So I think it's pretty cool, and that's pretty much what I'm doing now is we're doing both a one-sided and two-sided fair value gap, and then building in logic that, if there's an engulfing pattern that comes out of this rebalance and it doesn't close below the midline, all the rules that he likes to have on it.
Yeah.
That's pretty much what we're trying to create, basically. And this will be completely automatable within AutoX Bot and Generator as well. So we can still filter out chop with signal light in addition to looking for some of these signals and take these buy signals. And I think he's only going for like 20 points. So he's just looking for these to hit and capture like this sell, for example, capturing that 20 points and then closing the trade, waiting for the next setup. When you get another one, you're just looking for a 20-point move, and then you do that 2 or 3 times and you're done for the day. Especially with the trade copier, that's all you really need.
Yeah.
So that's something that I'm kind of in the works of developing now.
He's got a really good setup, eh? So
Yeah, I love what he's got going on, man. That's something that I love some of the stuff that he's got in his mind of how he likes to work. It's just absolutely one of my favorite things, I think, I mean, the way that his mind works with ICT, and I think again, we're just trying to offer some more options to people. Everybody loves Riptide. I'm a big fan of it. A lot of the members that we currently have now come from, the game community, but maybe people like to see some different options and different ideas and strategies. So ICT gives them that strategy and that option.
For sure, as we expand and grow, ICT is really popular market to get into. So for sure, I'd like to have support for anything ICT, and what you have here is pretty good. It's funny. So you're doing an engulfing pattern out. So it looks like a solid indicator. I know you haven't sent it over to me for refinement yet, but we'll get there. And that looks solid. And there's other members too who they want some order flow. So one fellow was using Tick Blaze. And he just showed me some of the order flow indicators they have, and we're gonna do a little suite there. I think there'll be 3 or 4 indicators in our order flow suite, and I'm excited to do that. You know why? Because order flow is kind of easy to do, to be honest. Finding gaps, like finding fair value gaps, like you're doing there, stuff like that, it could be more challenging. Just the logic behind it, but for order flow, I mean, it's important and it's a good indicator, but it's easy, man. It's just taking orders. You know what I mean? If there's more buy delta than sell delta and you're at a level, boom, it's absorption. If there's a stacked imbalance, there's a stacked imbalance.
Orders,
it's actually pretty easy to make that
That's a live now indicator. That's the thing. Everything else here is lagging. Any kind of moving average, any kind of even stochastics, that's all looking at things that happened in the past. Whereas order flow, that's here now live data.
Yeah, which is great. It's great. You know what it's good for a trade confirmation. So, and of course, when we make that order flow stuff, it's like anything we make. It's not just the indicator. It's also got automation functionality built into it. So it could be fully automated, whether you want to create, signals out of it, or if you just want to trade it as is. So, yeah, that's interesting. So then anyways, I'll show, I just pulled up the picture there, that fair value gap he made. And that kind of leads me into Generator. So we've pretty much gotten to our last leg in Generator, and our last it's not done yet, but it's like our final step in Generator. So I'll just show you what we've done here. It's actually been a good week for coding. Long week, but we got a lot done. So before we just had signals, which is, you take the whatever signals on your chart. I don't have any on this chart, but you put the name in there, and anybody that uses our products knows how to use that, right? And then we also had states. So you would set up, something that has like a chart background or something like that. It would be state 1 would be green and state 2 would be red. And you would basically say, hey, when I get this signal, I want the background to be green at the same time. And then, print me a master signal to trade on AutoBot. So and it's been like that for a while, and we released it like that. But, I mean, from the beginning, before Generator even started, there was ambitions for more. And the biggest breakthrough we had this week was just recognizing indicator values. That was something that was incredibly hard to do, and I actually had to take untraditional coding routes to make it happen. unsupported, I should say, unsupported NinjaTrader routes to code this in. But yeah, so what is indicator values exactly? So here's what do we got here? We got stochastics. So stochastics has what they call a D line and a K line, and this is the value. So right now the blue, I don't know if it's D or K, I can't remember. But anyways, the blue line's 80.37, and the other one is 86.99. So that's the value of that indicator. And when you go into generator and you select indicator, you'll see them all on the chart, whatever ones. So I would go to stochastics, and then you got to choose the plot, the D line or the K line. So you're going to have to know which is which. And I'll just check here, just so I know. So if we go to stochastics, and I just look at the colors, okay, D line is
Yeah, it's a D line.
And then the K line is the yellow. So, let's say you want to do D line. Doesn't matter. D line. And then it's just a comparison. Greater than, less than. So with stochastics, it's more of a momentum thing. So I think it's like up momentum and down momentum. So let's say I want to make a long signal. I would say, what do you want? Like better than 70, maybe you would say. So that way, if you put that in, that means that yellow line has to be above 70 with all your other conditions for the master signal to print. So it's a great way to filter. I mean, you can do it with the Momo meter too. So you got momentum, positive and negative. So you would just choose that. I would choose Momo meter. It gives me delta circles, but I mean, that's not, they're there, but they're always on the 0 line because they have a different function. But yeah, and then you would say, okay, if I'm doing longs, I want momentum to be above 20, say. Because that would be, for me, when I'm actually trading, that's my momentum. That's how I confirm that there's momentum, plus 20 or minus 20, and that's why I have those thresholds there. So, and you could do that.
So we could actually train a generator to be able to kind of see our breakout that we like to have, where everything's kind of pegged to one side. We're looking for, money flow to be, above 70, and then we're looking for one of the D lines to be above, at least say like 50, for example. And then we also want to see momentum above 20. So when these three things are in line and we have, whatever state we want to be in and we get a signal, that's really nailing down, some really premium signals, I think, at that point.
Yeah, that's it. I mean, you got to put some thought into it, but yeah, you could get creative to the point where I could say, hey, 4 bars ago, I want the momentum to be below 20. And then you would say 2 bars ago, I want it to be, below 0. And then 1 bar ago, I want it to be above 20. So that would be, in that instance, you would be kind of, I don't know, training it. You could call it training it, but you would be kind of coding your signals to say, hey, I want momentum to come from negative to positive within the last 5 candles. And what you would do is you would set up a couple condition types. You would do and then you would do indicator, Momo meter. It's still got to do some work on this, and we're going to get the trade copy out first before this update, because this is a big update. And then you would say maybe less than 0. And then there would also be a within filter within 3 candles or within 5 minutes or whatever. So you would set up multiple conditions and then that's how you might do 3 of them, and that's how you kind of code it to transition from a strong negative momentum to a strong positive, as opposed to this here where the momentum's kind of chopping. So that would be more like you were in a choppy market. So for me, trading, that wouldn't be something I would want to see. But over here, something I would want to see is this transition from a deep momentum coming up. So yeah, I mean, it was hard to really code that. And
yeah, it definitely sounds like it. And like I think with anything else that we're designing, generators seemed really complicated until we made a couple of videos and we made some examples, we made some presets, and then everybody really started grasping it. So with this, we'll do the same thing. We'll do a lot of videos, we'll do some training, we'll do some testing, some live trading on it, and then people are going to gradually understand it. We'll get some presets, some examples out for everybody. And then they can see, okay, yeah, this is really cool, but that gives you a lot of power and control over your trading on anything that you want to use now at this point. RSI, you can teach it to look for divergences. I mean, you can. It's endless.
Yeah, so then that'll be the goal moving forward. I know we've we put out a little bit of videos, but we don't put out a lot, and that's just because we're busy on the back end. There's a lot of things, just even on the business side and then on the coding side, and we haven't put out enough, as much media as we want. But we'll get there a couple times a week. I'll just go through. I try to do a Q&A once a week now. It's on Thursdays. This week is going to be at noon, and then the following week will be evening at around 7 Eastern time. So I try to get on there and do that once a week and record it and put it up, just for situations like this where somebody wants to say, hey, you know what? I want to tell this thing to go from, I like, when I'm trading, they could say, when I'm trading, I like to see stochastics below 20 within 5 bars of my long entry. So then I would go on there and show them how to do it. So, yeah, moving forward, we'll make short videos of, just setting this up, setting that up. But the really cool thing about this new update was it's the fact that you can use indicators that aren't pumped up with signals. Like, from this point forward, I mean, if it didn't throw signals, you couldn't generate your own signal out of it. Where this is like, the stochastics, that's just built in. This ADX, that's just built in. Momometer's mine, but it's based on a built-in one. So
but you could add in your stochastics and then squish it down, and you don't even need to see it on your chart after it's there and running. Then that's the cool thing about it.
Yeah, you just squish it all down. But yeah, so this is like, the other half of it is you can just use this on any indicator now. Things that weren't automatable before and that don't come automatable, you can now automate them with Generator. So that's a really cool thing. And there's more to this. I don't know if you know. That's just one thing. So this led into other logic too. So now we have two more. We have a thing that's called candle pattern and another one called price.
Okay.
So candle pattern is pretty simple. And it just recognizes candle patterns on the chart. So if you wanted to say, let's say you wanted a bullish engulfing, so you would go here, bullish engulfing, on the same bar as the rest of the logic, sure. Or if you want a bullish engulfing within 2 bars. So you could say, hey, I want ADX above 60, and I want momentum above 20, and I want to see a certain signal on the chart, but I also want a bullish engulfing candle within 2 bars of that signal and all the other conditions. Then you can do that now, and it's built in, and it recognizes them automatically, and it'll mark them on the chart. It's not doing it at the moment, but yeah, so it'll actually just put a little print there saying that, hey, this was a bullish engulfing, this was a bearish. But
that's
it has
amazing.
All the logic, Morning Star. You'd have to look some of these up. The 3 black crows. This is a 3 candle pattern. So even if you didn't put that bullish engulfing, bearish engulfing code into that fair value gap indicator you're making, we could actually now do that through Generator as well.
That's amazing.
But like I said, I'm going to have to go through and show how to set this up, because the signal app, it goes in like chronological order. So it'll look for the first condition and then the second one and then the third one and then down the list. So you can't just set them up in a random order. You got to put them in a proper order for it to work right. But once you get onto it, it does get easier, but it's just learning it initially.
Yeah, and I think it's important to understand too, this seems to be a lot. There's a lot to take in, but again, we're going to make some videos on this. We're going to do some live examples about this, and keep in mind, guys, at no time have we ever said this is a magic green button that you can press and it's going to print you money. It's going to take some work, and you're going to have to put something into it, which you should have to. You want to know if everything is creating that master signal. You want to know exactly what's driving your master signal and can almost anticipate it before it prints. But if you can get yourself to that point where you've used this, you've practiced it, you've back tested it, this thing, I think, is making it to where you're bringing this technology as close to the cutting edge as you possibly can, because you're adding so much functionality and so much customization to a single chart. It's amazing.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. It's going to take learning. What GeneratorX is a signal generator, and without GeneratorX, how do you generate signals? You got to code them. And if you can't write code, I mean, it's even harder to code. So this is my workaround for coding custom signals without having to actually code. And a lot of this logic you see in here, these within filters and these and or conditions, logic operate, these come from coding. This is what you use in the code when you create a strategy or you create an indicator that throws signals. So
Oh, I've recently
basically,
dived into that world of building
yeah.
indicators and coding Python and stuff like that.
So
So
you
trust
want,
me, it's very complicated. This is way
hmm
easier, like 1,000 times easier. You understand that?
yeah, but now I think you understand a little better these within filters and these and or operators. You know what I mean? I need this to happen within so much time, and that to happen within. You gotta. So once you kind of get your mind into the game, it does get easier. So like I said, this isn't quite done yet. I do have to
And it
refine
points
it.
everything to your left too, so you see everything that's happening. So if you just read that operator from left to right like you would a sentence, it's telling a story, and as long as your story lines up with what you're wanting to do, it's gonna be
Yeah,
fine.
and that's what I did too, right? So everything on here is the signal logic map. That was part of it too, because when you got a bunch of settings, it's hard to see what you've done. So, yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, if you take the time, you'll see it goes in order. So you start at the top and you go, okay, well, I don't have it set up for anything good, but if I were to take a preset like what did I chop states? There you go. Then you can see, okay, you go down the list. If a signal with the name TS label appears, filter within 0 bars, so there's no filter, and it has to happen right away. So when this happens and the current state is state 1, then you get your master signal. So, yeah, I mean, that's the thing about the map is it's meant to kind of spell it out for you in that sense. So, I'm open to suggestions as well, but, we do what we can to try and make it easy on you. And then the last thing we have, though, so we have indicator, candle pattern, we have price. Okay. So what's this one? So this one's kind of interesting. I really like it. So you choose price. So price it's literally the last price on the chart. So whatever the last price is here, wherever the candle is, that's what we're talking about when it says price. And then the comparison, it's very simple, greater than or less than. And then it's an indicator. So this list, it populates all the indicators, but you can only look at the indicators that are on the chart with the candles, because you can't say this candle greater than stochastics because they're not on the same window. You know what I mean? It can't be, you can't compare them together. But what you can compare are these. I have moving averages on here. So I have the 9 EMA, the 20 EMA, and the 50 EMA. So then what you do is, let's go to the front here. Okay, there we go, price. So what you do is you go comparison price greater than, and then you would say maybe 9 EMA, plot EMA, because there's only one plot for EMA. So in this instance, for this master signal to be approved, I guess you could say, price would have to be above the 9 EMA. So it'll automatically track and it'll say, okay, well the EMA is here and price is here. And then let's say you wanted to do multiple ones. So then you would do price again, greater than 20 EMA, and then plots just EMA because that's all it has. And then let's say you want to do the 50 EMA as well. So to make sure price is above all three. Bang, bang, bang. So now you've got a comparison of price between moving averages. There could be, if you have super trend on the chart, you could do it for super trend. You could do it for VWAP. Whatever you put on the chart here, it'll populate in generator. So you could say, hey, when price is greater than VWAP, then this condition, that's one of the conditions it needs for this master signal to be true. So that's the third thing. So we've added three different condition types here. So it's been a big update for generator. What do you think?
No doubt. I think there's a lot that's coming up right now, and I think just what we can do with this. And again, we'll start making out some presets, and I think this is going to take a little bit of education, a little bit of
Yeah.
videos, and showing some examples. But then once people see that example and they see, okay, yeah, we've trained it to look for maybe a divergence, we've trained it to look for our breakout that we like to trade because that's one of our biggest things that we like to have with
Yeah.
that bullish engulfing candle and that TS buy label with the chop filter showing that we're a go state. So you add in like maybe 3 or 4 conditions, nothing to where you're still going to get signals, but these signals are going to be very clean, very strong. And again, with our trade copier that we're introducing to it, you only need a couple, 2 or 3 trades. You should be done by noon, basically. Start right before 10 o'clock and end the day at noon on a couple of accounts. And a lot of them, Richard's really good at finding some really good prop rooms that got some amazing deals for
Yeah.
these funded accounts that are really strong, really good. They pay out very well. So this is the time and the era to do it, I think, right now.
Yeah, I really do. Yeah. I mean, these last two things, getting generator there with these last 3 condition types, getting it to recognize indicators, this is huge. Like I said, you can now automate any indicator that you just have built in. And then, yeah, with the trade copier, that's another thing too. Right? We always want to trade copy your accounts. So that's a big thing to have. And of course, like we always say, none of this is extra. Like when it's ready, we'll put it out and you download it and that's that. You just get it. So we're always trying to add value. So this is one way we're doing it. And I mean, we've got other things in the pipeline too. We won't say everything in one podcast, but you know, those are some big things coming up. So yeah, we'll see what we can do for these two scripts, and then that's we'll do some announcements and whatnot. But yeah, so anyways, moving on. What else is good?
Well, you know, some of the things that I've been working on with my AI workflow, you know, this is, I think one of the prouder things that I built is making these cards actually active in the logic that is built into this. And I brought up another image here. This is literally the logic that's built into this type of product here, where you're literally pulling from 4 different APIs. It's going through an entire cascade of pulling news, FOMC. It's starting to find any kind of market sentiment, and it's pulling, is this good, bad, negative? How are all the individual assets? It's pulling all 6 assets and looking at them. Are they bullish? Are they bearish? And I want to start making this an indicator. I want to start trading this because, you know, the levels that this is starting to generate just with even this technology on the charts, these levels are quite amazing just because of how the logic is driven to find your session levels and then your overall master levels. And I think if we can start making this an actual indicator to say, okay, well, when we're switching from bullish, we hit a major level. Now we're starting to show, you know, that maybe the EMAs are starting to cross over and we're starting to see some lower lows and lower highs. And we're switching to bearish now. Okay, let's make that a tradable signal. Let's see if we can post that, because my overall goal would be to take each of these assets and then find which one of these are correlated, because, you know, NQ is correlated with ES right now. That's probably correlated with YM right now. And then you start to see, okay, these are all pretty correlated now. Okay, this is kind of an outlier. This is doing its own thing. But gold, on the other hand, is just about inversely correlated. Every time these 2 go up, these 3 go up, this one goes down. So that's its inverse correlation. So my goal would be to take and start pulling things from like Reddit post, from X, from all the market news, and combine all that market sentiment and score it. And whereas like an indicator, and we always tell everybody to be careful of trading the news, well, we're actually going to go for it because this is actually going to anticipate the news. It's going to anticipate where is price at in relation to the levels with all these correlated assets. So when it sees that total market shift, when it's pulling 3, 4 values and maybe an inversely correlated asset, and it sees that breakout and it's pulling a news event that it's coming, it knows exactly what time and where it's going to come up at. If it pulls off of that level, then shows that bullish pattern after that, that's a tradable asset. That's something we can do. So I want to start by trading just this very simple logic that we have built into it now, just to see how it performs on a trading environment. And then as we start really breaking this down and putting these individual assets together, looking at them individually and then seeing that total market shift, and then we start pointing that into our NinjaTrader APIs that we have the ability to connect to, I think that's an amazing thing, because right now with NinjaTrader, even with the Python trading bot, you're only able to see the assets that you're trading, the asset that you're trading it on. Whereas with the AI workflow, you're able to see all these individual assets, and when they are within that correlation, within so much of a deviation, and they're all trailing together and they're working together, once they all start pointing to one direction and taking that trade, that's a total market shift, which is exactly what you and I trade. But instead of having to have 6 or 12 different charts on top of your screen,
Which I do.
you just have a signal that's going to be posted to your NinjaTrader chart and take that trade.
Yeah, and I really like that idea, and I think it's very powerful. Like you said, I used to have, well, I traded just the minis, right? So the ES, NQ, YM, RTY, but then I would have 2 time frames, you know, and I would watch, you know, you just see which one's got a high beta, which means that they're following each other, and then, you know, if the whole market's got a really good beta, then, you know, trades just seem to work better. So it's a very manual process. And I didn't mind it at all. You know, before I was coding every day, I mean, you know, I'd go back to that in a heartbeat. But yeah, having AI do that is just probably the better route to go, more reliable. And yeah, all of this stuff on the trader dashboard is actually really handy. It tells you news and everything coming up. So I've seen stuff like that sell for not a lot, but I mean 20, 30, 40 bucks a month just for something like that. You know, what you have on the trader dashboard. Maybe it's a little better than ones you pay for, but I mean, you know, we're getting there with what it'll be there at some point.
Yeah,
right?
this is our first stab at this, you know. But
Yeah.
like you just said, these are 39, sometimes $49 monthly subscriptions to be able to pull, you know, market news, market sentiment, combined with technical analysis, to be able to look at one of your charts, and it's able to analyze your chart right then and there for you. That's where I want this to get to, along with, you know, all of our other technology. And again, I think these things working individually, you know, our AutoX Bot and Generator working on NinjaTrader, and then we have things like the AI that's working. It's when they all start working together, when you add in AutoX Bot and then Generator and then our trade copier, things like this AI workflow that can show you that total market shift right there with one signal, and you can monitor it all right here from your dashboard and see things going from everything is bullish, they all switch to bearish because, okay, maybe we did hit that level and we're showing some bearish activity. You're going to see it popping up in the news. You're going to see the technicals, and you're going to see the overall score start to change. That's a tradable asset. That's why I had that idea. You know, these are really good about the levels. The levels are actually astonishing pretty well. So the logic is there. I just want to separate them and have them all trade individually, pipe themselves back into one major statement, and then that's able to produce that actual logic of, you know, here's your total market shift versus what it's doing now. So I think a little bit more in the logic and a little bit more time involved, I think we can create something really cool, but it's them all working together that I think is going to make an incredible trading, you know, platform.
Yeah, I do. I'm really excited for the future. There's just not enough hours in a day to do what
Oh
we want to
God.
do. You know what I mean? So
No kidding. There's so many things
even
on
for
my
me,
list. The list just keeps on growing, and then something else is urgent, like,
yeah,
you know, somebody needs all of it, and then we've had a couple complaints about somebody needed this to work. So okay, let's stop it. Let's go fix that real quickly. It's
yeah,
yeah, it's how it is in any business. But you know, it's just me and you, man. I mean, me and you taking on the world basically, but we're relying on all of our people, all of our family that's in Discord to just help start back testing some of the stuff. You know, we can make it, we can build it, we can code it, but help us make it a great tool. And that's where we're really relying on. We all work together and we build that out, and we, you know, learn this a little bit better. I think we create some amazing stuff together.
yeah. I really do. Now that we have the affiliate program up and running, I mean, it's just a free thing where anybody can sign up, and you know, they get a little code, and if they, you know, have a friend that wants to use some automation, they give them the code, and they'll make 33% of that subscription fee just for giving that code out. So that's something that a lot of other places don't offer, which I think is a huge value because, you know, if you were 33%, so if you were to find three friends or whoever, three people to sign up, really your subscription's free
Completely.
through the affiliate program. So that's something that a lot of people don't offer, and that's kind of been not an easy thing for us to set up either. But that's just another way we're trying to add value as well. Where there's really nobody else. They'll do affiliates, but usually it's like a one-time sale, and it's,
Yeah,
you know,
you
you
might
got to
get,
keep
even if it's a
selling.
subscription, you'll get,
You
yeah,
know,
10% one time, and that's it.
yeah, and a lot of people aren't salesmen. Me either, to be honest with you. And you know, okay, affiliate's cool for certain things, but it's like you got to sell it over and over. With the subscription, it's easier. If somebody likes it and they got value and they stick around, you just sell it once, or you know, show somebody once, and you just keep making residuals off that every month. So that's something
Yeah.
really cool that we offered that, you know,
Look at how
took a
Easel's
lot of
taken over with
time.
that. You know,
Yeah,
Easel's done a great job. Trades by Easel. He literally made an entire YouTube channel, so you don't have to talk to one person you know about this. You could literally start making some TikTok and YouTube videos
yeah.
and posting some of you trading and setting up and doing a screen record
And
right from a lot of free products.
you helped Diesel
Easy
set
to do.
up. You showed him how to use some AI tools to create videos and whatnot, right?
Yeah, and I'll go ahead and start doing some videos on that. That's one of the things I'll focus on my long form videos is I will start doing some tips and tricks on how to use CapCut, how to use Canva to make some really cool thumbnails, and then just post some really creative videos. And there's a lot of, I mean, CapCut does a lot of it for you. You can literally create an entire, that's what Easel does. He has it create an entire storyline. It generates the images, and then he
Yeah.
just posts the video. He just kind of like directs it where to go to, And it's really cool. It's a really cool program, and it's completely free.
Yeah, and it's really cool that you've been doing that. And I think we've talked about maybe putting some focus into that, making something maybe called Launchpad or something like that, where you show people how to make AI videos or AI shorts or whatever if they want to, just make some quick videos and stuff and put a link in there. And, it can be, you can do a lot of faceless stuff on YouTube and get a lot of attention for it. I mean, you just need one video, one AI video to go viral with your affiliate code in it. And, who knows what could happen, right? You could have
Yeah, that's the
500
exact
people
format
sign
that
up.
I
You
learned
know
how
what I
to
mean?
do. Yeah, exactly. I mean, I was just doing some browsing around YouTube the other day, and it was just showing us a really cool format that the way that I was doing it, you kind of have to match your image with your talking AI very closely. But the way that his format was, you've got a little animated character that's doing all your talking and your animation. He's waving his arms around, and then the rest of it is just B-roll footage. So it makes it
Yeah.
so much easier to make a video. But they're very popular. These have got hundreds of thousands of
Yeah.
views. All you got to do is find a format that is working good for somebody else and then duplicate that. And then I'm going to teach you how to do that as much as I can for you.
Yeah, even some little cartoon. This is before GammaX trading tools and then after. And then the little
Yep.
character's all happy. And then, you just put your link in there and that's that. And if, somebody clicks it, they click it. So I
Exactly.
like that
Throw twenty
idea. And
dollars on a Facebook.
I mean,
I mean, monetize a Facebook thing for I think $2 a day. So throw
yeah,
$20 into that, and it's going to go out into 5 to 10,000 people a day, and it's all
it's
targeted audience. You
crazy.
tell it exactly what it is, it reads it. It's got all smart AI with everything that's advertising with either TikTok or Facebook. But literally, Facebook's like dollar $2 a day if you really wanted to go nuts for it. See if $20 can make you $200, and reoccurring monthly subscriptions on that 33%. you
Yeah,
know, I'm
it's an
gonna
easy
try it.
business. And then
Yeah,
we do the customer service and setting them up and all that stuff like that. So, yeah, I mean, it's
yeah.
something to look
You don't
into.
have to do anything. Just bring it in.
We have a page on our website, GammaXTrading /affiliate. So that's the sign up page for it. And yeah, it's got a whole dashboard and everything for you. So you can see all the convert. You can see how many people clicked your link. So if you spend, we do it too. I mean, if you spend $2 on an ad or something like that, then it can show you, um, how many clicks you got for that and how many conversions and then how much money you're owed to, right? So we pay it every month. So you can see
Yeah, I
stuff
have
like
my
that.
screen if you want to show it here again. Here's
Yeah.
exactly what the affiliate portal looks like, to where you could literally create a short link right here. So here's where your link is, right at your first page of your dashboard, and it shows you, here's an example that I was doing a test on. It shows you I just recently had a click. That click actually had a conversion. They actually bought it and paid for it. Shows you what the commission is. Again, this is just a test. I did a 99% off here, but it'll literally tell you, hey, you recently had a conversion. You're able to track everything. So if you do want to put some money into, say, like a Facebook advertisement, you want to throw $20 in there, you're going to see exactly, hey, did it get any results? You should start seeing some click rates go up, and you're
Yeah.
able to track that right here just by copying this little link right here. It's so easy to do.
And another really cool thing is something people may not even know, but included in the link is what's called cookies. So if somebody clicks on your link, it'll remember that person for 365 days. We have it set up for. So anytime within the next year, if they purchase, it'll go to you because you were the first one to introduce them to the site within the last year. So that's something, that's what cookies is for, and that's what it does. So a lot of people, may not know about that, but it's a really cool thing. So even if somebody clicks it now and they come back in 6 months and decide to buy it, you still get that conversion, and it's still going to be money going to you. So I think that's super cool, and so I mean that's just something to think about as well. We've really put a lot of thought into it, and it definitely
Yeah, we
hasn't been
have a
easy.
lot of back end resources that took a
Yeah.
long time for us to build and get code to work with our code, and to get it all finally to work well where it works every single time. And we've done that. We've
Hmm.
tested it again. And I think it gives us a lot. The affiliate programs, the tools that we keep on coming out with. If somebody has an idea, like Richard had an idea about the ICT rebalance, if it's something that we could create and we have time for it,
Yeah.
we'll absolutely do it as quick as we can and get that indicator out to you. And someone else was talking about the order flows that they wanted to do. You're going to start working on that for them. So you can't get that in a lot of places you go to. They
No, it's
have
cookie
their
cutter.
process, their indicators, and that's it.
Yeah, where us, it's like I really like doing what we're doing. It's more of like a building a community thing more than anything. And yeah, I mean, it's up to you to tell us what you want or what you need or what can change. And it's not like a lot of companies where it's like, we offer this and only talk to us if you need support. It's like, no, it's not how we're going to go about it. So
No,
it just
because
feels
we could have
better.
made the AI workflow a completely separate tool and listed it as a
No.
separate product, and then went and made a totally different revenue stream. We've added this to everybody's portfolio. We've added the trade copier. That is an easy 30, 40, $50 a month subscription, or we could sell that for $500 all day long by itself. But no, we've added it to the value, and people that have gotten in for $60, they're going to get all this stuff. And as we build and we grow, they're getting that price that's locked in for them.
Yeah, and that's the good thing. That's the only thing that will change is prices will go up, but not for anybody that's listening to this podcast. I mean, I
Nope.
should say, well, if they're signed up right now, I mean, if you're already in the
Yeah.
group, you're locked in. I think we'll always do that no matter what. So even if we do raise the prices down the road, whatever you got in at, it'll stay there. I just think that's a kind of a cool way to go about it. So that's what we'll do. But anyways,
Yeah,
I think we've gone over a lot. It's been a pretty good
I think
cast, I
so.
think. So, did you see that? Have you been watching the market? I've been watching it. Take a look there. The NQ just had a big dump the last 5-10 minutes. Look at that. I watched it just push, 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 push.
But then it's recovering right back up to it. It's pulling back and then
Yeah,
pushing right back up.
but if you go look at the 4 hour, it's still just all it did was it just broke today's highs like before 6 p.m. Eastern time. And then if you look at yeah, so that's all it is. It's just struggling there at highs. It probably will pull back here. I'd be surprised if it gaps up more, but it might.
Oh
Who
yeah, I
knows?
mean this is
I don't
very
know.
very extended at this point. I imagine we're at the very upper end of the deviation spectrum at this point.
Yeah, probably. But yeah, still lots of volatility going on there. So yeah, I was just kind of watching that as we're talking. Pretty interesting. But anyways, okay, man. Hey, good talk. And
Yeah,
yeah, episode 5, getting there. We'll be at 1,000 in no time. So
no doubt.
yeah, that'll be fun. Maybe we'll have to party in like Cancun, Mexico by that time or something.
Oh man, party at the beach, guys. Let's go.
Episode 1,000. So all right, man. We'll let you go,
All
and
right.
we'll see you here next week, same time. Monday nights
Good night,
is the
everybody.
new time. Yeah. So, okay. Take care.
See ya.